That's where it's going. All right, guys. So welcome to learning about open houses. I would love it if you have any initial questions, if you would go ahead and put them in the chat box. That way you don't lose them. And then we will work on making sure all of those questions are answered before we end the class.
I'm gonna log in so I can get questions.
It's right here.
I'm just kidding.
I got you. Unless you want it. Okay. So for those of you who don't know who Boots and I are, you're kind of lucky because we're a little wild. So we kind of come as a tag team duo. She's way better than I am. And she'll tell you she's not, but she really is. And we got a lot of this information from an agent who has built her business solely on open houses. She's in Oklahoma. She is from Australia. And so listening to her when she gave us all of this information for open houses, just, we were there like, oh, talk to us more. And so we took a lot, at the point in time in which we got this information, we were strictly buyer's agents. So doing open houses was how we were building our business. But we did get the knowledge of what else they do in order to build their business on both sides of it. Because open houses are not just for you to pick up buyers at an open house. Open houses can build you business with sellers as well. You just have to do it and do it at a high level with a lot of consistency. So,
and a lot of follow-up.
Talk a little bit more about follow-up.
Well, which part do you want me to go?
Do you want to start from what we have and then go into it?
Okay. So one of the first things that we were taught was to do the 10-10-20. So the day before the open house, go and knock on doors. 10 to the left, 10 to the right, 20 across if you can. Bring them something of value, like a flyer. Hey, look, we're doing an open house and we'd love it if you want to come by and see what's going on in the neighborhood, or, just showing them that you're doing an open house. And what I do is when we talk to people, we would take a picture of that house and then we would send them a thank you card after the fact.
Make sure you have the physical address in the picture so that you can remember which one it is.
Right.
It'd be like something that we got from Matrix, we could print out a sheet with that and put it with it. Or no,
like
just
the
a picture.
flyers, make a regular flyer, like an open
Yeah.
house flyer.
Okay.
There was even an option where we would do an open house and we would do it an hour before the open house started, just for the neighbors to come through. Hey, look, you guys get the first peek. Come through between 10 and 11. You guys get the first look.
We've got it set up just for you to be nosy neighbors. When you make them feel like they're important, then they become important. And it is all about letting them feel like it's about them, not necessarily that it's about the fact that there's an open house. It's Chris Ann, don't you want to know what your neighbor's house looks like? Don't you want to see if maybe you can get some really good ideas if you were thinking about doing any renovation, and having the conversation if they're willing to talk to you. So, we're having an open house. Do you know anyone that you would like to be your neighbor? I'd love for you to invite them. That's always a good one too. But when you're talking to them about being able to come prior to, you have then made them feel like they are something special. And that's what most people in this world want right now, is to feel like they're something special. So you just did it. The other thing is when you're doing your open house flyer, make sure you have your information on it. If you are doing an open house for a listing agent and you're doing this to bring business to yourself, it is okay if you plan to do that 10-10-20, that you put your own information on there. You do not have to have the other agents contact information on there, because you don't want them, if you're doing the work, to go and do the open houses, for them to call Boots because you're out there doing the work. So make sure you have your contact information on there, because if not, and they come to the open house and they don't get your name or number or anything like that, they're going to see it on the sign. And so who would they call? The person on the sign. To make sure that you're giving them something of value, but that you include your contact information on there.
And like I said, the big thing is the follow-up. Honestly, that has been one of the things where just a thank you letter. you would not believe how many people reached back out and said, thank you for that letter. You know, it really meant to them. It meant something to them because you're not just going by knocking on the door, you're sending a follow-up letter, and it kind of hits them more because they see that you're trying to be more consistent. And, you know, put them in your database. It doesn't hurt. I mean, you know, if you do cards or letters, you know, every 3 months, send them one. It really helps. Because then, you know, they know that you're thinking about them. And who doesn't want a handwritten letter? Because everything is electronic right now.
So when you're putting them in your database at that point, make sure that you're tagging them with things and that you set up a task so that when the next quarter gets here and you're reaching out to Mary Smith, that you remember who Mary Smith is, and you know, the next handwritten note or the next whatever you have, if you've gotten any additional contact information from them, let's just say you've got their address. That's when you need to go ahead and be purposeful and ask them hey, I'd love to be able to, you know, are you a renter? Are you looking to buy? Are you looking to sell? You know, do you have a good email address that I could send you information about what the market looks like to keep you updated with what your neighborhood is doing? Give them the opportunity to respond back to you, because if you don't, then you could be just sending out handwritten notes without any response. So you have to put a call to action in that response, in that handwritten note.
Just a quick tidbit for agent safety. If you don't feel comfortable going by yourself, have a friend go with you. Have another agent go with you. There's nothing wrong with safety in numbers.
And if you are doing that and let's say you don't have an agent, make sure there's other people that know where you are. Just a safety thing in general, make sure that you have your location settings with some people. I think I have Molly's. Julie has mine. Do you have mine?
No.
Really? I don't have yours either.
That is rude.
That is so rude of you.
We turned ours on in Dallas.
We did. All right. Can you make a note that we're going to do that? Does anyone else, even for those of you that are on the Zoom call, does anyone else have their location settings like shared with people?
No.
Okay.
It's important, especially for real estate.
My 22-year-old who refuses to share hers with me, but yet she has mine because she's like, you're the child now. I'm like, yes, I am. Okay, so for those of you on Zoom, that was an opportunity for you to be involved as well. You are all on mute, but you can respond in the chat box. So does anyone in the Zoom virtual world have their settings set up where you can share with somebody?
This is Sarah.
Yes.
Yay, yay, yay. Oh, thank you so much for engaging. I appreciate it. All right.
I do not. I'm not even sure how to do
It's
that.
pretty good overall that it's a no. I would love to challenge everyone that is in this class right now to figure out someone that you would like to share those settings with and have it done by Sunday. Is that a challenge that everybody would be willing to take?
Heather, I just
You can
jumped
answer
back
in the chat
in.
box.
Heather, I'm sorry.
You can answer in the chat box.
Okay,
You want me to answer
sorry.
in the chat box?
I do not want you to answer in the chat box. You're here. What about in here? Are you willing to take that and figure out who you would do at least by Sunday?
If I can figure out how to do it.
And that's a good question. If you
Yeah,
don't know how to do it,
Do you have my phone?
Yeah.
then make sure that you have that conversation with someone that does. Nia says location on, it's super easy. So Nia, okay, there you go. We're all gonna reach out to Nia and find out how it gets done. I love how we can volunteer people to do things. Woo! All right, so we talked about the 10, 10, 20. Y'all don't have to keep it to just the 10, 10, 20. You can go further if you so choose.
But just understand that's 40 people that you're gonna have to talk to and it's a lot. So like I said, don't overwhelm yourself either. Like I said, 10, 10, 20 is probably the best option.
Yes. Now, if you're breaking it down where you've got more than one person, you can do, anyway, it's up to you, but it's just a really good standard to do that. Don't get don't get befuddled if your house is on a corner and think that, well, which way do I go? Just, the big thing is to just do it. When we overanalyze things, sometimes there's a paralysis that goes along with it. So just do it. Print 40 of them and pass them all out. All right, what's next? Because we're only 11 minutes in.
Well, there's when you're going to go do an open house, check out the house before you go. Look on the MLS, look at the information, ask questions to the listing agent, so that way you can be prepared in case people are going to ask you. They're going to ask you questions at the open house, and you want to be a little bit prepared. If you can get in the house ahead of time, try to do it. It's going to help you a lot because you never know what person's going to ask you what question, and it's a good idea to be prepared and know what to look for, and up front.
So if you are a listing agent that is letting someone else do an open house at one of your listings, if you're talking and it's occupied, make sure you schedule that with the seller in advance to let them know that, okay, we need to let that agent in at least an hour to 30 minutes before the open house so that they can come in, because like Boot said, if they can't get in there, this gives them an opportunity to know the house, get comfortable, be prepared. And the other thing is that if an open house starts at 10 o'clock, I had one in Spring Lake about a month and a half ago, and I got there at quarter to 10. There were 15 people that were waiting to get in. And Chris here is ready to learn all about open houses. Chris, do you own a house?
Yes, I do.
Are you looking to sell?
Yeah, a couple years.
Okay, before you leave, can I get your contact information? I'd love to be able to help you. Okay, so y'all, that's all you got to do is talk to people. I'm going to find Chris from here. All right. Where are we? I'm sorry. Totally squirreled on that one,
So
y'all.
you normally are open houses on vacant homes?
No.
On live-in homes?
I do
So-
both.
Do what?
Both.
Okay, so when you're letting people in, just never doing them, do you let them in one at a time? How do you do this with jewelry and all that's away, I'm sure. You gotta get them.
You can't right now. Well, no, that's not true. You need to ask the seller how they want it. Most of the sellers don't care, especially if they're gone for the weekend. So what I do is I have my sellers leave for the entire weekend. And I let the people do the open house, and I give them free reign because I know the sellers are not gonna be there. I know Margaret did one for me, and I think she had like 50 people come through, 30 people come through. And there was no stopping them. Like they literally, like in droves, like just went through the house. So it depends on the house. Just let them go through.
So really it's up to the sellers. You ask them and they give you the preference or,
Yes.
okay,
And most sellers, because they're gone, they don't care.
okay.
So I do find it to also be important to walk the house with your sellers before you have an open house. I had one recently, and he's military, and he had lots of the military coins. And so little things that are easy to be picked up and put in pockets, I always ask them to put those away in a place in which, it's not easily accessible. In our area, we have a lot of families that have guns because we are very military populated, and they like their guns. So if you have sellers that have firearms, please make sure that those two are put away in a place that's not easily accessible. Make sure that your sellers are aware that people are going to open closets. If they're coming into the house, they're opening closets, they're opening cabinets. And if they're selling, they're probably or should be in a place in which they have already begun to declutter. So there's a lot of preparation that goes into getting folks ready for an open house as far as that goes. If you know that it's going to be a hot house, I would even recommend if you're tag teaming with another agent, just because, the one that I had that had 15 out there, I told them all, hey guys, we're going to do like 5 at a time. I don't know who was here first, and I'm gonna let y'all figure that out. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna get everything ready. You guys can start rolling in around 10, but we're gonna do about 5 at a time. Just because, it was occupied, they still had stuff in the house, It was 2 stories. There's only so much that you guys can be. There's only so many places you can be at once. So, you know, it's okay to tell them that they can wait. Not a problem in any way whatsoever.
So when you're checking out the house before the open house, also look at the stats for the neighborhood, because people are going to ask about that. And if you have it readily available or you know about it, it makes you look more knowledgeable, and that means people are they're gonna see you as like someone that's gonna provide value to them.
So Adele asked a question. It says, what items do you normally bring with you, i.e. handouts, you know, things of that nature? For me, I like to bring a little bit of information, a handout. What we used to do was, or when I was on a team, it was kind of like a team information sheet. Had the front picture of the house, a little bit of information. Price, did we put price on it? Okay, price. Of course, your contact information, and would pass that out. One of the things that I'm doing now, if I'm doing an open house at one of my listings, we have started, we stole this from another agent, but we're doing, what do we call them?
Offer instructions.
Offer instructions. And we're also putting them inside of the transaction desk. So the offer instructions you can give to a buyer. More often than not, what I'm seeing now is you've got buyers that are coming that are already working with agents. I've had many agents come through open houses as well. And so you have that for them and you can give it to them as far as that goes. It's impressive for a buyer as well if they're not working with an agent to see, wow, that's kind of all put together right, nice and neat. And it has all of your contact information on it. So it's also a great thing to give to a buyer. Usually the back side of it is blank. I like to make sure I have pins so they can make notes on there if they want to as well, and that I can make notes. Adele, I always have a notebook with me to make notes from the people that I've talked to. Ashley, you're really good at getting people to do sign-ins. So will you talk about your sign-ins?
So there's several different options. There's actually a free open house app that you can put on an iPad for people to sign in, or I have a sheet. There's this thing that you partner with a lender and you get, it's called List Reports. It's a free app. It's amazing. You can do open house flyers. You can do sign-in sheets. There's a lot of different options with it. You just have to partner with a lender. They pay for it already and you can utilize it. And it's a great tool to have because, like I said, it does a lot of different options. But I tell the people that come to the house, hey, please sign in, because it's for the safety of the seller. You know, we just want to make sure that we know who's going through the house. And let me know if you're working with a realtor. Like, I let them know, if you're working with your realtor, let me know who it is, and I'll reach out to them for feedback. And so that way I also know that I'm not going to harass them. But I do nice flyers, and the flyers that I do on List Reports talk about what's in the area, like the gyms, the schools, the malls, food, like different things. And so really great free program. I absolutely love it. And you don't have to use a lender. The one I partner with, she's not local. She's a great lender, but she also doesn't really, she's a personal friend of mine. So that's why I do it with her. But partner with somebody that does, because List Reports is amazing. So I kind of force them to sign in, but I do a lot of flyers too, because like I said, I want them to be able to see what's going on and see what the neighborhood is like.
Another great thing is to have your computer with you hotspotted, because if someone asks questions, so I have someone that I'm talking to right now who came to one of them and we were talking about the market. She was with a friend who was looking to buy, and she says, yeah, I think we're going to be selling soon. So I got all of her information and I was like, I can run you a quick, CMA and send it to your email for you real quick. So right then and there, I got her name, her address, and her email address. I mean, not bad for just a quick minute of, hey, I can do this for you, because you're providing that person value. Y'all, she lives beside 2 real estate agents. But did those real estate agents ask or provide anything like, hey, are you selling anytime soon? Let me give you this. So, you know, she thought it was pretty cool that she got this. So, Christina Evans said, what is the name of that app?
List reports. House, if you put your email addresses in there, I'll forward you what the website is for anybody interested. I love it. Like I said, it's phenomenal.
Does anyone have any questions at this point from what we've gone over? Anything?
Say, I have a question, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. When we were doing open houses pretty heavily as a team, I had like we called it the open house box. And we kept all the standardized things that you need for an open house in this box. It's actually sitting in the room right now. And then on top, we had a checklist to make sure that whoever was responsible for that box, they had their flyers, their sign-in sheet, working with real estate agents, brochures, business cards, like everything that you would need, and each agent had their own box. So it's literally, they could tell us on a Monday, hey, I'm going to do an open house at 123 Main Street. We're like, we got you, get the flyers, get this, here's your box, now go. So we didn't have to every week, like, oh my gosh, does this box have this? Does it have this? Does it have this? Does it have this?
Idea.
You are so put together.
Can you tell me what you guys have in that box?
Sure.
Yes.
So another thing that,
For you, I mean, right now, we haven't done an open house in forever, so people take, I mean, everything from like mints in there, because you always want to have fresh breath when someone's coming up and speaking to you. Bottles of water, things like that, I'll go to that.
that's
We
awesome.
also have a sheet that has things like this.
So
Well, and I think you can create your own sheet as well for like what's going to work for you. You know, having snacks was one thing that was something that we used to do. COVID kind of has put it to where it's not necessarily people are doing that. I like the idea of not doing the snacks because truly the intent is to not have people hanging out. The intent is to get people in and out. When you're providing food, people like to hang out and talk. And if there's value that's being shared, that's cool for them to hang out and talk. But if they're just there for cookies and milk, or you know, mimosas and strawberries.
I used to do coffee and donuts. I used to go to Krispy Kreme, grab the big thing of coffee. They have it pre-made for you, and 2 dozen donuts. And then anything that I didn't use, I literally would go to animal control and drop it off, or like to somewhere like the police station or somewhere like that, and I would donate the rest.
That's a really good idea.
I just didn't want to take it home. And I knew that, you know, they're working hard, so why not give it to somebody that deserves it?
When I first started, I brought home so many donuts that my kids stopped liking them.
See, I could do it. Could not do it.
All right. So before we go into anything else, has anyone in here done an open house and found success in it? Okay. So Julia raised her hand, Nikki raised her hand, Boots raised her hand. So Nikki, tell us what it is what success did you find?
With door knocking. It was always with neighbors, not so much with people coming to see the house, but 2 buyers from door knocking that their family, one of them was family and one of them was them future.
Okay.
And it was just, and then I have a couple listing leads that didn't pan out, but they were good leads. I just didn't do the follow-up, to be honest. But what I used to bring was the solds in the neighborhood. So I would just like the solds in the last 3 months and bring it to them and explain to them what it meant as I'm door knocking. And just so you know, in case you're looking, and people really seem to like that. I need to find a prettier way to do that than my MLS printout though.
I will, like I said, list reports.
It's the same thing, like
It's actually pretty sweet.
All right, Julia, how about you?
I got some good leads and was even able to put an offer in on that house. I was doing an open house for. It came in late, but that's besides the.
Hey,
It was a good offer.
you read an offer. You got an
It
agent.
was.
You got an agency agreement out of that.
Yeah, and Yeah, with the last one, everyone had an agent with them, so, but that was fine. I had good conversation. Yeah, I got good leads out of it. And what I did when I did the open house, I had the client printout from the MLS, and I had the offer instructions pulled up on the computer for the agents to look at. And I had a sign-in sheet which asked for name, number, email, if they're working with an agent or not, and if they are interested in further appointments.
One of the things that we should do when we're asking if they're working with an agent, and if they say yes, and you're doing an open house, a great thing to do to follow up, because sometimes buyers will tell you yes just so that you'll leave them alone. So expand on it and be like, oh, great, who's the agent you're working with? Because I would love to make sure that I can send them any information about the house if you would like for me to do that.
When the agent was there, I usually asked for their card instead of them signing in, so I asked for their card.
Right.
Did it that way.
The other way to ask people is, because they're gonna tell you that buyers are liars, just across the board. I don't ask them if they have an agent anymore. I'm like, oh, have you seen any homes? Oh yeah, we've seen them online. Okay, have you seen them have you seen any in person? That right there lets me know that they've actually been in homes and they're probably working with somebody. So like I said, I don't just ask them if they're working with a realtor, because again, buyers are liars, so are sellers, but they won't tell you the exact truth sometimes, or they're not aware that they are actively working with somebody and they've signed something. So don't just ask them if they're working, ask them if they've seen homes and been inside homes.
Because there's many people who will say, I'm not working with them. I'm not married to them. I don't have to be with them. Yet what we are seeing is, people are writing multiple offers and, not getting it accepted, and then they become defeated, and then they search out to potential other agents. So if they've written an offer, then guess what? They have an agency agreement. And if they don't, then that's a problem right there. But 99% of the time, if they have written an offer, there is an agency agreement. They may not have been clued in. So that's exactly what it means. So often we send documents to folks and they just sign them without asking any questions. So they may not be cognizant to them that it is an actual agency agreement. So what else is on that list?
Agent safety. So this is a big one. The reason why we also tell you to walk through the house ahead of time is because we want to make sure that you guys are being safe. You want to know the exits. You want to know if there's anything that you're missing. The other thing is, when I do an open house, I take the key and I hide it in one of the cabinets in the kitchen. I don't like to leave it out because somebody can take it. And so that also protects me a little bit more, because like I said, I'm the only person that really knows where it is. And I don't put it literally you open a cabinet, it's right there. I'll hide it behind something if possible, or I like to make sure it's out of sight. Make sure people know where you are. Do not park in the driveway. Park on the side. Like I said, let people know where you are. Be very clear with people, especially if you're in the house and somebody walks in. Pretend to make a phone call. If you feel uncomfortable, message any of us. But remember agent safety, know your surroundings, know who's around you. If you feel uncomfortable, like Heather said, have your location on, have that person ready to know, or ready to come get you, or ready to call 911. Be smart, because what was it, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, there was an agent, a big man, who was assaulted by 2 people at an open house for new construction. They took him down. So it doesn't just happen to women, it happens across the board to everybody. So be smart about your surroundings.
Another thing is that, so if you're getting on to any social media and you're advertising that you're going to be doing an open house, use the word we, do not say I. We can't wait to see you coming through. We're looking forward to having you come to the open house. Use the word we, because you are instilling into anyone that's seeing that advertisement that there's going to be more than one person there. When you do that, you are automatically letting anybody who has any bad thoughts in their head, they may be thinking, this might not be the one that we want to case, because if it's more than one person, then we have to take 2 people down. So you have to think about these things. Please advertise it, but don't put yourself out there saying, I'm going to be alone in a house today, and I want you to come see me while I'm all by myself, because that's what bad people hear. So we as good people inherently don't think that way. So you have to start thinking and make sure that you have those thoughts in your head so that you keep yourself safe. It is always, we're going to be at 123 Main Street, and we cannot wait to see you coming in today. Our team is going to be there and ready to show you the house. So come on and see us. So make sure that the words you are using are plural.
Okay, going back to the follow-ups, what she's mentioned, right? Do you follow up that afternoon after the open house? Is that a good thing to do the same day?
Well, if it's somebody that's actually like, if they've given me their phone number, yes, I do. If not, I wait until Monday at the office and I actually put it in my Legion time, because literally you're Legion. You're sending a thank you note. You're sending a thank you note.
I'm just thinking the fresher it is, they're on the top of mind,
Well, see, that's why, but see, I also will write it down, and I also take pictures, so that way I don't forget. I love notebooks. Love notebooks.
They're proprietary. And this is recorded.
Anyway, I will sit there and write it down, especially if I've talked to somebody. I will write their name down. I'll write the address down, and like I said, they're in my database. And like I said, if they want me to call them, I'll call them at night. If not, I'll wait till Monday, because I would rather spend time with my family the rest of the weekend or show homes, and I'd rather have it in my Legion time.
I have a question.
Sure.
What is right now, I have a person who signed this professional service disclosure form, T760. And my buyer, he used 2 of services which is suggested, home inspection and the civil source. The other one, she's like waived.
Mhm.
And she's explaining me why I'm waiving the other services and why I just selected and signed that I'm accepting 2 services.
So we'll talk about that after this class, because this right now is just specifically for open houses, but we'll go over that later if you like.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're
I
good.
don't know that.
You're good. Another thing that we do is signs. When I do an open house, the day of, probably an hour before, I will flood the neighborhood with signs. I know you're not technically supposed to do that, you're supposed to follow the guidelines, but if there's 2 entrances, I go to both entrances. Any corner, I put it on the corner. Literally, I will do any directional to that house that I possibly can. I put out, I think, 30 signs at one point in time. I know it's excessive and it's obnoxious, but it lets other people know that, look what she's doing. She's actually working really hard to advertise the house.
So just to make sure that you know what the legalities are, because we will tell you what the legal stuff is, and what you choose to do is completely up to you. But we don't want anyone saying that, oh, Boots and Heather told me I could do this. We're just telling you what we do. If your open house is within the city limits of Fayetteville, and I don't know what Hope Mills requirements are, but I know Hope Mills does have them, then there are rules that you have to follow when it comes to signs. There is a little white and blue house sign that is supposed to be the only sign other than the sign in the yard that you use for anything that includes open houses. That is within the city limits of Fayetteville and the city limits of Hope Mills. That is what the rule is.
But I literally, as soon as the open house is done, I go through and I pick all my signs up, because guarantee you somebody has thrown away at least one.
Yes.
But so I make sure to put my signs out right before and take them up right after, because if not, I don't want Trisha to get a phone call.
So now that you know what the rules are, you can't say you didn't know. You can also not say that Heather and Boots told me that that's what I'm supposed to do, because we did not tell you that that is what you are supposed to do. We are just telling you that we do it and we take the chance, and it's completely up to you if you're a risk taker. And if you are, then have at it. Just make sure.
Banners or anything at the road for the house, or is it?
Well, if you got them, use them.
I'm actually in the process of getting new open house signs for myself, kind of like quirky, like how my for sale signs are. I'm getting ready to do something similar with my open house signs. So I mean, you can do it however you want. Just remember, like, don't put a lot of money in like the hard signs, like the metal, like crazy expensive ones, because guarantee you someone's gonna steal one.
Just a little cheap.
Yeah, do the cheap ones, because honestly, they'll blow away, someone will steal them, whatever. So I wouldn't invest like crazy amounts, but just do the cheap ones. That way you can replace it really easy.
Isn't there, I can't remember who it was, you could rent the open house, like big banner.
Somebody here did that.
Pierre, no.
It was Pierre.
Was it him?
It was Pierre.
It was like, what, $50 for the day or something like that? You could rent the big, like, wavy open house.
The guy.
Oh,
The guy.
wait, not the guy?
No, it was a it was a banner, and it said
Another
open
this
house.
I want the guy.
Right. And I was like, if this is $50, I would pay
In the
$50
front,
for that.
In the
Like,
driveway.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I want the guy.
I want the guy all day
I would
long.
do a dance off with the guy, that would be
Okay.
fun.
Ooh, that would be fun. Come dance with the guy.
I don't know if he still does it. He used to.
I wonder if he still
I
has
need
it.
to just buy one of those banners.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. If you feel as if you need to buy one of those banners, I would highly recommend having conversations with other people in the office to see if people would be willing to go in with you, so that,
Because they're not cheap.
right,
Yeah, they're, hence the reason why he was renting them out.
right,
$50 a day.
right. And then you can put it in your open house box.
I mean, this guy's like 267.
But
But if you use him,
the
Yeah.
man is 267.
Wait,
Ooh.
really?
Mm.
Okay.
And I can
Hang on,
now
and I can write it
off.
so
You just have them sprawled
totally,
out on the
really should not have squirreled. I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry? It's pretty
Very
amazing.
excited.
Okay, everybody in Zoom land, $267, and every bit of it is something that you can write off. Could you imagine having a kid's birthday party and being like, this is where you could use it for so many things.
So many things.
Oh, my
wait.
stars.
There's a custom design Sky Dancer 6-foot tall inflatable tube man with the blower for $170. So you can actually have it with your information.
Heather.
So
I'm so glad I'm not on Zoom right now.
okay, we have to go back. We have to go back.
All right, so Zoom land questions, because I don't want any of you to feel left out, and I do want questions to come through because this needs to be interactive for you guys. As I stare at the computer waiting for the chat box to pop up.
When do you put those signs up? The day of?
Come on, y'all.
I go the morning of, so I'll
I'm
probably
waiting.
look at the open houses and look.
Yep. Oh,
know,
Adele,
and
no
like
questions?
9:30,
Well, at least you
10,
did make it pop
And
up.
I go through and I like to stake the neighborhood and then put the signs up, so I make sure I have enough and then make sure I'm putting them where I need to. I actually go to the dollar store and buy the little, like, twirly things. I don't know what they're called. Yes, pinwheels. I do those as opposed to balloons, because balloons are actually really bad for the environment. And this is kind of like when I do the pinwheels, because it also, like, you can actually stick it on top and it just looks different.
I like the way the pinwheels look better than the balloons too, because they're more eye-catching without being kind of jarring.
And they have the cute, like, little, like, mesh ones, so you can reuse them. And if they get lost, oh, I'm sorry, $1.
Christina Evans asked, what goes in an open house box? So Chris Ann is going to get us a list, and I have written down everybody that's in the group and right now, and we're going to send that to you guys. But I think that it's also some of the things that you can do, and I know this sounds, and I'm not saying we're not going to do it, but I will promise you, Google it. If you Google what are items that I should put in an open house box, you will see items that you would have never thought of and things that would fit what you particularly want to have in there. So I would highly recommend doing a Google and doing it that way. So Adele asked, what have you found? Hold on, let me put my glasses on. What have you found to be successful ways to get people to come to your open house?
Advertising.
What kind of advertising?
Social media.
Yeah, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Facebook stories, people do Snapchat. what's that?
TikTok.
TikTok, I can't even think of that one. Command, you can actually use Command to do a boosted post.
So Command is a little bit harder because it depends on when the house goes active. The only reason Command is hard right now to do is because it has to go through like a 24-hour period of being approved.
Right.
So you still get the thing that you can put out there, but if you're boosting the post through Command, it takes the time for it to approve it. So you're essentially having to put the house active before your open house, which if it's lived in, you have to make sure you organize that the right way. So typically what I do is it goes into coming soon on Monday. It'll go active Thursday afternoon with no showings until the open house on Saturday, because then it gives time for it to be advertised. Otherwise, the advertising is, if it's doing it through Command, you have no time for that, because like I said, it takes at least 24 hours for it to approve from there. But if you have a business page, you can boost it from your business page without doing it through Command. Your yard sale sites, definitely do that. Make sure that when it goes active on the MLS, that you are going into the place where you can make sure that you add that there is an open house for the time and date, because that'll syndicate into your third party. Another very, very important thing to do is in remarks 1, let it be the first thing that you have written on there: open house Saturday from 12 to 2. That is syndicated into all of your third parties. And so if you have consumers that are looking at Zillow and they, or Trulia, or any of those websites that there are apps that they're using, and if they don't have it where it's said that like a filter for open houses, they see the house, they're like, oh, look, there's an open house, hun, we can go look at this one today or tomorrow or whatever. So if you put it in remarks 1 as well, then you're syndicating it out through the remarks that are being put out there on the third party sites.
So question about, you said that, you have it go active and you don't allow showings until the open house.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to do that,
Mhm.
but there's so much talk about it on all the groups.
Mm-hmm.
So
They can talk.
they can talk.
They can talk.
Okay, you know what? That's honestly
Go get a
all
listing.
I needed. I don't care. It's my listing.
Go get a
Say
listing.
it again,
I really don't want to sing it again because it's not what we're supposed to do.
I allow the showings.
I do not.
I do allow the showings ahead of time, only because most of my sellers have limited time, especially since I asked them to leave. So I allow the showings from 8 to 8, and then 8
Starting on that Friday if they're leaving on Saturday.
No, Saturday. Like if they're leaving Saturday or
Right.
like Friday evening, showing starts Saturday.
So when are you making yours active?
Thursday.
Okay. So then you're not, it's the same thing. Showings
I
don't
can-
start until,
But the open house is like, so for this weekend, for example, I actually have an open house Saturday at 12, but showings are starting at 8 a.m.
okay. For me, it's once I know they're gone. So, typically I'm just saying open house to them. Have conversations with your sellers. If it's occupied, tell them, listen, we're doing an open house. I need you gone for the weekend. Take your family, take your dog, take yourself, do whatever, be out of the house. Let me have access to it for the whole weekend. That way you don't have to worry about it. And if you can't do the whole weekend, then be gone from the morning until the afternoon, until late in the afternoon, and be gone both days. That way.
One open house on each day?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say.
No. God, oh, Lordy be no. The open house will be
One day.
usually on Saturday, 10 to 2, something like that. You can do it longer if you want. I would say if you're going to do anything that's over 3 hours, that you break it up with another person, and one person do the first shift and another person do the second shift. Because what I find is that your biggest times are going to be in the very beginning of the open house and right at the end of the open house. So if you are doing the tail end, if you're doing a separate and you're doing a tail end, do not have showings scheduled for immediately after that, because you have no idea how long that last person is going to be in that house. And so you don't want, that could be the one that's going to give you some business. So.
The other thing is, if you're doing open houses for other agents, just confirm like how it's supposed to happen. I know for myself, any leads that come in are the agents that show the house, or that do the open house. I don't take them, but other agents may ask for them. So like I said, just talk with the agent on how they want to do their open houses. Like I said, I only do open houses for agents to allow them to pick up clients. I don't do them for anything other than that. Like, it's just to help newer agents get experience. So like I said, just talk to the other agent, especially if you're doing it for another person.
All right, so Sarah Seeley asked for list reports. Can you upload your own pictures? It's just wanting to pull from the MLS. She hasn't listed the house yet, so it's not in the MLS and it's only pulling old pictures.
Hold on, I'm actually in here right now. Let me.
She's gonna play with it. And then Nia says, does anyone have any open houses that newer agents can shadow in? Anytime I'm doing an open house, I'll put it out there that I'm doing one. I'm more than happy to have someone come and shadow. It's always nice to have that second person in the house with you, especially right now because people are going through and you have large numbers.
Jackie Burberry is doing an open house for me this Saturday from 12 to 3 on 151 Colonist. If you want to reach out to her.
Nia, did you get that?
Can you say that address one more time?
Oh, there's no sound here. I'm so sorry. I suck. I don't have the sound on. I think she just type it in to the chat box. You don't need to be sorry. I'm the one that doesn't have the sound set up.
So put together.
I am put together. 131 Colonist.
151.
151 Colonist. Is that in Lexington Plantation? It's in Lexington Plantation.
If you would have Sierra, if you want to tell her to reach out to me after, I can show her how to fix it. And list reports.
Sarah, here. Okay.
Did you say Sierra?
No, it's Sarah Seeley.
Oh, just kidding.
What's your phone number?
910-987-9532.
It says Ashling Bonner in my phone, Sheriff. Okay. I don't. Sarah, that is Ashling's phone number. She said to give her a call after this and she will help you walk through what the list reports thingamajiggy you're asking about. Is that good? Can you give me a thumbs up? Maybe. Can you give me a thumbs up? Yeah. I saw your face move, but I don't have sound on. Yes, yes, Sarah. Yeah. And she made her face go away. So, oh, there's the thumbs up. I got it. Boots, do we have anything else on that list?
We did what to bring, agent safety, the follow-up, provide value, information about the house, the 10, 10, 20, the locations and the signs, and the open house box.
Okay.
When you call your geofarming call, when do you do it? Do you do it like the day before? Does it really matter?
It depends on if we have like call night. I'll do probably Wednesday, Thursday night, just to, and I also have learned to be careful about which neighborhoods I call. Just because most of them are rentals and it comes up with a lot of just wrong numbers, but Wednesdays or Thursdays. Okay. And those I try to call like 50 plus.
Because you're just sitting there doing nothing anymore.
Well, because half the time nobody's gonna answer. Yeah. And I try to call in the evenings when I know people will be home.
So when you say evenings, what are those prime times that you're looking at, Miss Bonner?
Between 5 and 7.
I'm sorry. We digress. We are. I hate. All right. So we have about 10 minutes left for you guys. Any last questions that you can think of and any ahas that you would like to share? Actually, let me rephrase that. What are the ahas that you got from the class? And I do expect for them to be in the chat box as well, and I will read them all out.
Question.
Yes.
Okay, you said y'all learned this from a lady that moved here from Australia.
No. She's in Oklahoma. She's
Oh.
from Australia.
She's from Australia, okay.
Yes.
Who is it?
Her name is-
somebody we can look up to?
Yes, her name is Kasia Olick. Kasia, Kasia. Olick, Olek, I think is her name. I am friends with her on Facebook. I have gone to every class that she has ever taught at
What?
Olek maybe. She's pretty fantastic. So if you, once we are able to go back to family reunion, mega camp, any of that, if you see that she's doing something, I highly recommend you doing. I mean, literally, that's how she built her business.
That's what I was asking, how that's really well, folks.
Right. So when she does an open house, it is intentional. They farm neighborhoods. They do the 10, 10, 20. That's how they have the conversations with the people that they're getting in front of. I'm sure it's been a little bit harder because like I said, I do follow her on Facebook, and I have seen where more recently it's been opened up that they can begin doing open houses again. But that's where, hey, listen, our open houses really work, so you should come and do it. Open houses do work. So if people tell you they don't, it's just because they aren't doing anything with them or doing it the right way. I am actually leaving when I'm finished here. I'm driving up to Spring Lake to go do a listing appointment. Actually, we're doing a finalization for a house that's beside a house that I had an open house for that I just sold. So, yep.
It really does work. It really, I mean, I can't tell you how many buyers and sellers have gotten off it because they're looking to move, they're looking to sell their current house and move into a different one. And even if they don't buy that house, that's still a buyer and a seller that I got.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I can't tell you how many referrals I will get off that specific one too, because, you provide value to them and they really love you and they'll refer your name out continually.
All right. So we have got Sierra who has put her aha in here. So the rest of you that are on here, we're waiting for that as well. But Sierra's aha was that I like the different way to ask people if they're working with an agent rather than just asking them if they're working with an agent. But she did also ask, what is the 10, 10, 20? Because she missed that. So the 10, 10, 20 is you've got the house that the open house is going to be at. You have a flyer and you go door knocking 10 houses to the left, 10 houses to the right, and 20 across. You invite them to the open house that's coming up. You have conversation with them, find out if, just in communication, are you looking to sell anytime soon? If they say, no, I'm a renter, then that opens you up to, oh, are you looking to buy anytime soon? So it's just having that organic conversation and being able to have something to create an opportunity for those conversations. So thank you for your aha, Sierra, and everybody else, I'm waiting.
Not so patiently.
Not so patiently, because you got 6 minutes, and that's not going to give me a whole lot of time to go through all your ahas. So get to it. Let's go. All right, anyone in here for your ahas as I'm patiently waiting for you guys on Zoom?
I like the open house box idea.
I do
really like
too.
that.
Yes, that is a great idea.
And I already sent you the link for it.
I saw that.
Along with the playbook for an open house as well.
Just to let you know, Signature Group is all about a playbook.
Yeah.
Chris Ann has sent me multiple different playbooks, and I am very grateful for all of them.
She's pretty great.
She is pretty great. Keegan says, I like that you ask people to sign in for the seller safety. Oh, yes. Sarah Seeley said 10, 10, 20. I honestly have thought about telling people in the neighborhood. Christina Evans says, my aha is the list report app. She will check it out.
There's also a free one. It's called Breakthrough Broker. I can send you guys both things. Breakthrough Broker, you don't have to have a lender sign in on for you, but it gives you the same kind of opportunity to make flyers, to do things. I mean, there's a lot of great free resources out there for realtors that you don't have to spend any money on.
All right, Geraldo, I'm gonna go ahead and call you guys out individually. All right, so Geraldo, you go ahead and type it in. Renee Lee said, the price of the wavy inflatable guy. She says, no, I do like the pictures of each house to follow up to help remember when you're doing it. She says, I definitely need 3 different ways to remember stuff sometimes. Heck yes, and anything that you can do to help yourself remember it is always a great way of doing that. Adele said, providing offer instructions. Geraldo says, I'm good, thank you. It does, I'm not asking you how you're feeling. I'm asking you for an aha. Who said that?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. Jackie and Christina.
Ashley, next time I see you, I'm gonna give you a hug.
Got it. Geraldo, you can talk, but I don't have any speaker, so you got to type it in. Jackie. Molly. You were here for a little bit.
I was here for a little bit.
Yep. What aha did you get from it while you were here?
The biggest thing is the follow-up. Like, you can meet people at an open house all day long, but if you don't check in with them or do anything with it,
You spent 4 hours. You spent 3 to 4 hours sitting in the house, opening it up for everybody.
I think that's why a lot of people think they don't work, is because they don't do anything with all the data that they've collected, and then they can't work for you, so.
Who's behind? I don't know who you are.
I'm Brian Nevichuk.
Hi, Brian.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I can't complain.
Tell me what you got out of this.
My aha moment would probably be the safety. I never really thought about that in an open house. I think it's just something I have to think about. So
Very good.
I'm not a big, tall man, so if one big tall man got taken down by 2 guys 6 years ago, I'm probably gonna get taken down pretty quick.
But when you take into consideration your safety, you're gonna keep yourself safer.
Of course.
Jackie says that she came in late. My apologies. That is totally okay. I would love to know that you got something out of the time frame that you were here, so you could share that with us as well. Yuan.
I got keep trying to understand is that when we're putting the signs, we put them fast and remove them fast. Because as per the rule, technically we can put only the little one with the blue as per the regulation. But if we're smart enough, we buy the cheap ones, put them fast, remove them fast, and we're all cool.
Listen, as long as we know that you know what the rules are, whether you follow them or not is completely up to you. Everyone knows it. I don't mind bending a rule.
Like they
I think I got the rest.
say that you're not supposed to have an app for more than 24 hours. So like I feel like we're just not.
Oh, I'm just.
Oh, no, it's not a 24-hour thing.
But see, it's during the weekend, and the city doesn't care.
Oh,
during the
yes,
weekend.
that's the big thing. So your open houses are on the weekend. The city people don't work on the weekends.
They don't
So,
care.
you
And
know,
who's gonna tell on?
who's going to tell?
Nobody's taking 5 minutes out of their day.
So-
Write that up.
I mean, have you met the city? They don't even work after 5 p.m.
Hey, this is recorded. And yes, they do.
Okay.
Hello, Derek from City Code Enforcement is a buyer next year. Chris Ann, what you got?
I'll keep it recognized. Hashtag learn how to bend the rules with your class.
Yes, yes, that is the next.
That's your guys' slogan.
Oh, that's so
No,
bad.
the offer instructions, especially if you're doing something for another agent or you're paired with another agents, I love y'all. However, you don't read the instructions of the MLS.
True
If
story.
there's anything important, like those offer instructions, if you're saying these, very, very helpful.
Yes.
Have you seen that? Offer instructions?
Well, I've seen one version of them.
All right, so Jackie McCarthy said, should I link up with a lender to put out information for buyers who haven't been approved? I mean, is that still an option? I think most go through pre-approval, but just in case. So Jackie, to answer that, you would be surprised at how many people actually come through open houses that haven't gone through the pre-approval process. So if you had a lender that you could connect with at that point in time as well, think that is a fantastic thing. I don't know that lenders are doing it like they used to, especially right now with it going as quickly as it did. But, you know, it's very likely that we're going to get back to that. So go ahead and set up those relationships with lenders that would do that for you. So.
I had another offer me, sitting with me at the open house.
Yes. Which is always, I mean, you know, it's helpful for them too. So I think I have everybody's name that was here. I am adding Molly and I've got Brian. So I have all of you on here. It is 2:00 and we thank you so much for being a part of this. It has been recorded, so I would encourage you that anyone that you know that you're talking to that says, oh, I wish I would have gone, or oh, I wish I could do this, or oh, I don't know what to do with an open house. I'm gonna get this to Trisha somehow, and she can do with it whatever she does for magic, or I'm sure she'll have Shelby do it. So hopefully it will be on our Facebook page, and thank you for taking your time out of your day to be with us so that we can teach you how to bend the rules and do things amazingly. So, all right, guys, bye.
I like watching your face.